down, they give the man king. I tell me partner, they must be joking. Foreigners in the crowd couldn't understand why the hell I give the crown to this man. They're complaining bitterly about the whole decision. Bassy telling them I sing the wrong song. I sing land of my birth to show patriotism, but people telling me I sing the wrong song. They want me sing something stupid for their money. Don't put no lyrics tall in the thing. Make the crowd laugh with some Nancy story, and maybe then we go from you king. Get us dance Swanson and me friend Katie to play your song on the radio. Then bring in your own crowd and tell them be noisy. If you want to win the Calypso show, but I tell them flat.
Calypso, my friend, is bigger than that.
I tell Fuku and Big Belly Tap.
Calypso, my friend, is bigger than that.
Amen. Change the way we judge Calypso, we go drive the standard right down the drain. Cause Thompson in village go come and make party show, win the crown and make we standard look tame. If the criteria did mention crowd, I woulda make them shout out loud. But the Calypso king must represent this land. He can't go sing walk up in tongue. Your lyrics and melody must make sense. The audience must feel your presence. Your diction and clarity must make people understand that to be the king, you need to good song. Cause when it is all over, time for representation, the man who all you give king must have to good song. King have to represent the country. Make him put good lyrics in his song. Don't let nobody win a crown easy, because they have good presentation. The Calypsonian by right is a teacher. He's supposed to educate, but some people want me to sing about rumor. Someone me come on stage and gyrate, but I tell them flat.
Calypso, my friend, is bigger than that.
All you take it from king this and that.
Calypso, my friend, is bigger than that.
Yep.
I was young, dumb, and looking for company.
Sounds a ginger song they call Still Hanging, eh?
Very pushy.
After a broken relationship.
This life I have made mistakes. That's the biggest one that I'll ever make. The woman nearly killed me for goodness sake. She was no rasta, but she well dread. She tells she friends that are dead in bed. I cannot believe the things that the woman said. The preacher tells she to say I do. She said yes, but ginger not with you.
I'm still hanging in. Still hanging in.
I just married to you to get green card. I'm the street man almost blind me, but I still hanging in. I still hanging in. I still hanging in, girl. I still hanging in, girl. Never judge a book by the cover, old people say. I buy the book and didn't look in them. The cover portrait fidelity, love, sweetness and dignity. I start to grin like I just win the lottery. But when I turn the pages, all I could see: hate, malice, vanity, pain, shame, scandal and treachery. I couldn't tell where the licks were coming from, but I get more blows than a bongo drum. Lord, she nearly gave me a heart attack. I felt like I went to hell and back. I'm still hanging in, still hanging in. But who the master bless woman can't hurt thee. She couldn't take away my masculinity. I'm still hanging in, I'm still hanging in. I'm still hanging in, girl. I'm still hanging in, girl. She leave me, she run away. The brother tell me, boy, let Jezebel stay out there. But being such a forgiving man, I tried to play good Samaritan. I opened the heart and took back the woman. But like she came to set last for the minute she put foot in me door, start to go on twice as bad as before. I leave the house, I went to walk. Sweet man come there and run amok. I'm still hanging in, still hanging in. Very food on the plate, you understand? She can command and demand to me.
1, 2, 1, 2.
When she want to hear good news about me, she just check the death announcements nightly. But I still hanging in.
Good afternoon, one and all, and welcome to day 4 of Poets in the Square 2025. We welcome you. We are happy that you are here. We have a packed event for you this afternoon. We have the drummers, we have the cake walkers, and of course, our feature event would be the peeling of ground provision, and also the impromptu contest where you would be part of it by writing a poem, 8 to 10 lines. A little later on, I'm going to give you the topic. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are rolling. But just before I do, I want to say welcome to Kalia Huggins. She's a member of the subcommittee, and she's the youngest, and of course, she's the present and the future. Welcome, Kalia. Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We must encourage youngsters when we see them, doing something that is positive. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the NCDF Drummers. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Black Circle Drummers, ladies and gentlemen. My bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Black Circle Drummers, and we love to say Fonga, Alafia, Ashe, Ashe, which simply means welcome. Welcome to Poets in the Square. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Black Circle Drummers. Right here on lead drum, we have Saheem. Also on lead drum, we have Janari. On middle drum, we have Ronell. And my name is Rasbingi Paris. I'm drumming instructor for Black Circle Drummers and House of Arts. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Black Circle Drummers. Bingy and his team. Bingy has been doing a wonderful job over the years. Let's give them another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the cultural aspect, and we're going to go straight into the cake walk dancers, the NCDF cake walk dancers. Ladies and gentlemen, remember a little later on we'll have provision peeling where you, the audience, can take part, and also we'll be having the impromptu poetry contest. So stay tuned. You'll get the topic a little later on. Any returning nationals amongst us? Yes, welcome. Anyone else? No one else? Welcome. Anyone else? Returning nationals? I'm seeing 3 hands. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the stage the NCDF Cake Walk Dancers, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the NCDF Cake Walk Dancers. Nice cultural music. I'm sure you can stay in your seat and you can shake a leg. Thank you. Thank you, DJ Woodis, for your assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, can I give the NCDF Cake Walk Dancers another round of applause, please? That's the end of our cultural aspect. We're going to go into poetry direct now. Ladies and gentlemen, opening the bat on day 4, we bring to you, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady who is no stranger to poets in the square, a young lady who writes her own poems, a young lady who dramatizes. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the microphone, Mrs. Maricia Williams, ladies and gentlemen, to come to recite to us.
Good afternoon. I'll be saying 2 poems that I have written. A purpose. As the clock strikes the hour, I thought where the people lack knowledge, there isn't any power. Like the wind blows the chaff away, I reflect on my existence anyway. It's quite evident my thoughts have a big part to play. What if I curled up in a ball? Wouldn't the pain go away? Do I matter? I ask my frail self. I try to laugh uncontrollably, but they say the joke is on you up to this day. You are so different. We don't understand you. So I conclude to isolate is my mandate. I cringe at my reflection, and I thought I feel so awkward. Suddenly, a feeling crept in my being. Strangely, I felt a sense of relief. I remember when someone said, "You're beautiful, smart, and so sweet." With a power rush, I realized that I'm important and truly I have a purpose. Okay. Thank you. My next poem entitled Mr. Education. They ripped the medal from his chest and chanted, "Only stalwarts live here." Like a rejected ballot, he sank his head, then began the tear. You are an outcast, not even a blast from the past he vividly heard echoing. We welcome only the brightest stars, not your kind. You're not very smart. The looks of rejection piercing, passerby mimicking, you want Mount to be a thing. Through hard work and perseverance, another tune was now singing. He now stand tall, the best of all, the truest stalwart to date, medal after medal, the best in the region, local and international. Someone believed in the minority and gave him a chance. Today, he is given recognition. Well done, Mr. Education. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you can do better than that for Mrs. Williams. Yes. What a way to open the battle on day 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. And it's a privilege for me to introduce to you our youngest poet for today. Just 6 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and help me welcome little Richelle Liebert. And the poem she's going to recite was written by her aunt, Roselle. Give Richelle a round of applause as she comes, please.
It's Culturama time, the Caribbean greatest summer lime. Bring your friends and family to have a great time. Lots of colors everywhere, different cultural affairs. Nevis nice, fets and food fair. Juve morning, yes, see you there. Fun and wet dung, long jump pussy. Always coming dog. Queen show, Teleton teens, parade day, a colorful scene. So take a snap, Culturama is back. Share the fun, bring along someone. Nevis and pride, second to none. Culturama 51.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can do better than that for our youngest poet for day 4, little Richelle Liebert. You know, ladies and gentlemen, she just didn't read, you know. She expressed herself, her body language, the way she spoke, her tone, everything was in sync. Give her another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving along. And at this point in time, the pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine to welcome to the podium a young man that young men should emulate, especially in terms of dressing. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium, Mr. Fionn Jones, to recite for us, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Now, I must admit that that is a very hard act to follow. So I just want to say that was lovely. And when I heard the youngest poet is going to recite today, I jumped up, but then I realized I wasn't the youngest here today. Okay, I have 2 poems here today that I want to recite. They are written by various authors, but bear with me, it's my first time here, but I'm happy I'm here on this stage today, so I just want to say thank you, Culturama, for having me. My first poem is entitled Inner Strength. From the solid ground I stand. I may say things you may misunderstand. I am human and I can make mistakes, but I prove to the world that I am not fake. I have gone through heaven and hell, getting back up every time down I fell. Many times my life was prosperous or tight, but in my struggle, I put up a good fight. By feeling that moment of pain and ecstasy, I've paved the way towards my own legacy. Bewitched by the essence of Mother Nature, I lived humbled despite all the pressure. Now, by taking a new direction, I can clearly see my validation, successfully overcoming suffering and pain, and becoming a master of my destiny's domain. That first poem was written by Romeo Valley. And my second poem, it's entitled Mango, the King of Fruits. In the summer's golden embrace, a fruit emerges with sweet grace. Oh, the mango, a tropical delight, a luscious treasure, a pure delight. In dessert and smoothies, it finds its place, adding a touch of tropical grace. Mangoes, a versatile treat indeed, from breakfast bowls to evening's sweet need. With gentle squeeze, it yields and gives, revealing the succulent flesh it lives. Juicy and tender, a burst of flavor, a taste so divine, one can only help but savor. Beneath its skin, a golden treasure, fragrant sweetness beyond measure. A symphony of tropical delight, with every bite, a pure delight. Before you say anything, I just want to say, I am not certain where this author wrote this poem, but I want to say, because we're in Nevis and we have 44 different varieties of mangoes, he was thinking of Nevis. Thank you very much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can put your hands together once again for Mr. Jones. Yeah. You know, when you have at least 2 mangoes and you're looking at them, you're not sure which one to eat first because you want the sweeter of the 2 to eat last, right? And then sometimes you eat the sweeter of the 2 first, and then when you go to eat the second one, you stroke. It's part of life. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. At this point in time, the pleasure is mine to introduce to you a gentleman who have been reciting for a number of years, right here at Poet in the Square, a gentleman who writes for himself and no doubt for others. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak of none other than Mr. Harvey Hendrickson. Can you put your hands together for Mr. Hendrickson, please, as he comes.
Good afternoon to all. I just made a shift in terms of my presentation. So following up on this mango story, and because we are in this mango season, you can give a count if you desire to do that. So I will share with you Nevis mango them. It is entitled Mangoes. If we take them in alphabetical order, this is how they will go. Amripali, a class by itself. Bill, bird pick, bitter skin, Brazier syrup, bread, and bull tone. You have to take some home. Cherry, Chinese, clary, and cornmeal is another grade. Dog mango, dumpling, foul shit and full belly. You will take it. You will take more than a bit, if only for the fun of it. Garrett, God blood, God grafted, hairy and hard bottom, and honeycomb are some you will not take home. Drop in, Julie Polly, long mango, nanny, oven, pity the poor, powder, and purple are tasted everyone before. Rainy, round ball, rosy cheek, seedy, small, Solomon, sour lala, and sugar flat. You have tasted the whole lot. Teeny, Teresa, Tunka, and White Lady, mango sweet, mama, mama. And so you will have a chance now to go outside and sample and inquire what you want, this one name and what I want to name, you know what I mean? And you have a chance to do that. You may come up with even a new one found. I share with you something that many of us, the older folks, would have experienced. Youth. And so this poem is entitled, I Was Young. I was young, a baby crying in the night for milk, for breast, my mother's breast, cradled and cuddled, smiled, kissed, and loved. I was young, without teeth, soft skin, pink lips, bright eyes, and virgin feet, sleeping between two pillows with thoughts of my own, sharing with no one, just breathing. I was young, untouched by disease, my clothing for them a special care. Boil them, wash them, and put them away. I was young, eating mashed food from my mother's mouth. My diet changed. I crawled onto a wooden floor. I held on to the bar of the door. A bath in a basin of water heated by the sun. I gained strength. I walked. I was young. I ran and skipped and jumped. I fell, got up, and ran again. For me, it was fun. With cuts and bruises, I felt no pain. I was young. I watched the sun and looked for the moon, counted the stars. I went to school. My best years then, my best years now. My teachers, my friends, my school friends, they are still my friends. Today we talk in glowing terms of the golden years. We talk of fun and work and respect with respect. I was young. Today I crawl with a stick. There is no strength in my legs. I feel all the pains. Again, my diet changed. My clothes are touched My body diseased. I have many thoughts of my own. I share. Bright eyes then, now dim. Where are my teeth? I watch for the setting. Hope for the rising. Counting my stars. I was young. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, give Mr. Hendricks another round of applause. He was young in age, but he's young physically. And I'm told, ladies and gentlemen, that he has 6 books of poetry, so you can always check him out. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. And at this point in time, I would like to welcome to the podium a beautiful lady, one who is making her debut right here at Poets in the Square. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium Mrs. Aletha Rollins, ladies and gentlemen, as she comes.
Good afternoon, everyone. This poem is a poem that was collected by my mother, teacher Mildred Morton. And this is called Be Frank. Be frank, my dear people, for that's the right way, a way seldom chosen by us now today. How good it will be to speak straight and plain. I'm sure in the long run, some friends you will gain. Don't abuse Mr. O because he's not near. Don't chat Mrs. P when you know she can't hear. If you can't have your say when one is in place, then forget the whole matter when you don't see one's face. You haven't got to be rude, your mind to express. You haven't got to be crude or get in a mess. You can be frank and yet remain quite meek if you only think well before you speak. For instance, I may say something about you, but whom do I tell? My friend, Mr. Q. And he'd forget we are friends when he'll meet and add a few words to make it sound sweet. So my good friends, if you will bear with me, I'm sure you'll be frank as frank can be and tell men your mind to the very head. Then Mr. Q won't say, Mrs. Reader said.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Mrs. Rollins. First time here reciting at Poets in the Square. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. And at this point in time, I'd like to call a gentleman who is no stranger. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Mr. John Kell as he comes, ladies and gentlemen. As he comes, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that we have our impromptu contest a little later, and I'm going to give you the topic now. The topic is the heat is on. The heat is on. If you are interested in taking part, you can raise your hand, and one of us who have on a yellow top would give you a piece of paper and pencil, and you would compose a poem consisting of 8 to 10 lines. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. John Kell, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Thank you. My poem is called Car. After Culturama Nevis, the sun was shining bright when along the lane came a lovely sight. A brand new looking car with flowers on the hood. I dashed down to the gate where I stood. When I took a closer look, I got a nasty shock. It was only the farmer taking food to his flock. Said to the goatman, "Why didn't you put the food inside? I've got 2 stray goats and the wife's inside, who's trying to hide." I looked in the car and she gave a little curse. "Are you okay?" She said, "No, I cannot find me purse." Okay, now then, this one is different altogether. Now then, Wellingtons or Wellington? Wallis or Wellington? Right. 'Twas the Duke Lord Wellington who first gave it its name. Fed up with getting his feet wet, going home in shame. Soon everyone was wearing them when the weather was wet. Trouble was, your feet began to sweat. They named a plane after him, a Wellington bomber. It was far from the sea, unless it was a gunner. When I came to Nevis, they called them water boots. I've got an old pair I'll use to carry water to my plant roots. I've seen them used for many things, the cutest of them all, a pair of brolly stands in an entrance hall. Maybe someone here will have a better use, so tell me now without further abuse. Now, can anybody tell me what galoshes are? What is galoshes? Water shoes. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again for Mr. John Kell. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go a little, or we are going to the youth, some of our youth, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man would have recited before right here at Poets in the Square. And it gives me pleasure now, ladies and gentlemen, to invite him to recite again, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and help me welcome to the podium young AJ Ajani. Somebody wrote it on my paper. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be reciting a poem named Imagine. Thank God for the evolution of technology. It really changed my outdoor reality. The virtual world I welcome happily. Imagine riding around on a donkey or walking every journey. Now cars take us everywhere in a hurry. Imagine playing outdoors in the hot sun. That is what they used to call fun. Games are now on Nintendo and PlayStation. Imagine washing and hanging out clothes outdoor. These are things we do no more. The washer and dryer now take on those chores. Imagine catching up on the latest tea. Right now, it's so easy. Just log on to WhatsApp, Facebook, or IG. Imagine me in outdoor time. This virtual world fits me just fine. I embrace living in these times.
Thank you, Mr. Sadler. Let's give Mr. Sadler another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We have to encourage, and Mr. Sadler is the son of our feature poet, Miss Tamisha Sadler. Give them a round of applause. They're following in their mom's footstep. Ladies and gentlemen, and a young man following in his mom's footstep. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Keanu Sadler as he comes to recite, ladies and gentlemen.
Afternoon. Good afternoon. My poem is called Since Technology. Outdoor reality is no longer a luxury. Since the evolution of technology. Since technology, chasing donkeys and stoning birds can now all be done in a virtual world. Since technology, there is no simplicity of play. Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo has taken that all away. Since technology, outdoor interactions have dwindled. Everyone is now glued to their laptop, phone, or Kindle. Since technology, there is no adventure and enjoyment. Now TikTok and YouTube are the source of entertainment. Since technology, no chatting with or visiting friends as we like. We just text them over our favorite social media site. Since technology involved for the outside, there is no interest. We are in a tight competition with technology and the internet. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sadler. Give him a round of applause. Remember, there are still some more bits of papers and pens. So if you want to take part in the impromptu contest, again, the topic is The Heat is On. And remember, your poem should be between 8 to 10 lines. Please note, the judges will be selected from the audience, and the winner would get a ticket to tonight's event at the Cultural Village, the Soca Power and Groovy Monarch Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. At this point in time, I'm going to introduce to you a young lady from deep in the East. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first time to Poets in the Square. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the podium Miss Hanela Fifield to recite for us, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My poem is entitled 51. 5 decades plus one. 5 decades plus one dates back to when Culturama began. Big drum, steel pan, revelers all ready to have fun from sunup to sundown. No time to sit and complain that Culturama just ain't the same. Don't play the blame game or forever stagnant we'll remain. Get up, let's party. Culturama is we and we is Culturama.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Hanela Fifield. First time reciting right here in the square, Poets in the Square. And if I know her well enough, I want to believe that she's ambitious enough to take part in the impromptu competition. But we'll see that later. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. And remember that we have the provision peeling to come also. That would come after the impromptu contest. But ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to call to the podium a young lady who is no stranger to Poets in the Square. A young lady who is going to come and recite to us, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium Miss Akida Nesbitt, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I made this poem approximately 11 a.m. this morning, and I think it's very unique. So here goes. My poem is entitled, My Culture, My Pride. It begins with stories told by our ancestors that created a dream so unique. They spoke about cultural traditions like Giant Despair, Johnny Walker, Masquerade, and Cakewalk. These practices made me want to talk. Shared laughter over breadfruit and stew. Interestingly, there were songs that told our stories too. In every word I heard my name, not one to fear, but one I had to embrace. Nevis pride stood loud and clear. It became a part of me to dance the steps my elders knew. Each move became a memory pure and true. I spoke the echoes of our ancient songs that contributes to our roots staying strong. A storyteller in flesh and voice. I do not whisper, I simply rejoice. Not just for fame or fleeting show, but so generations like me would always know who we are and what we came from. History created our identity. Through pageantry, I show the world our vibrant force. I wear my sash, not just with grace, but as a symbol of this place. In every speech, parade, and stride, I raise the banner, my culture, my pride. We unite not just for fun, but to show our pride, second to none. Thank you. And remember, Culturama 51. 51 is the number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can do better than that for young Akida Nesbitt. Very eloquently done. And we have to continue to encourage our youngsters. Ladies and gentlemen, can you put your hands together for all of the poets thus far, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to call to the podium Miss Calypso Huggins to read the profile of our feature poet. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Calypso Huggins, please. Welcome her, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Tamisha Sadler is a dedicated educator and proud mother of 5 who has spent the past 24 years shaping and inspiring young minds. A passionate teacher with a creative spirit, she brought lessons to life by weaving poetry into her teaching, using rhyme and wordplay to make learning both fun and impactful. Her love for poetry began in high school and has blossomed into a lifelong passion. For Tamisha, poetry is more than a hobby. It is a powerful form of expression that gives voice to her thoughts, emotions, and the stories often left untold. She draws inspiration from the world around her, transforming everyday moments into beautiful words of art. Outside the classroom, Miss Sadler enjoys dancing to her favorite beats, getting lost in the pages of a good book, composing heartfelt poems, and cherishing time with her family and friends. Her vibrant personality, creative soul, and commitment to education make her a treasured member of her committee and a true inspiration to those around her. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Tamisha Sadler.
Thank you very much, Kalia. Good afternoon, all. As you can hear, the voice is not here. A lot of it is not here today. I'm still reminiscing from Tuesday night, my school one, talented youth, so all of that, you know? So, so some of the voice gone with that, but I'll try. All right, this first piece is entitled Family, and I'm doing this because there's a few members of my family here with me. Mother, father, sister, brother. We laugh, we live, we lift each other. Through every joy and storm we see, one heart, one love, one family. Aunts and uncles, wise and kind, grandparents with the ties that bind. They guide our steps, they help us be. One heart, one love, one family. Cousins, nieces, nephews too. A bond of blood forever true. With every hand and harmony, one heart, one love, one family. Wife and husband, side by side, in trust and care, we all confide. Together strong, we plant the tree. One heart, one love, one family. We build, we grow, we laugh, we give. This is how we choose to live. In every branch, all are we. One heart, one love, one family. Now this next one is because I'm feeling nostalgic and family, and I have a few friends. I have a group of girls that we get along very well, and so this next piece is dedicated to them. It is called Fab Five. 5 hearts, a bond that's oh so sweet. They lift each other every time they meet. Through chaos, chalk, and some drinks, they have formed the strongest link. P, the bold, she speaks her mind. No filter, fierce, but always kind. She is fire and truth, she does not pretend. The one you call, on her you can depend. Q walks in when the bell has rung. Fashionably late, young and strong. With grace, she floats through every door. Just know she will need 5 minutes more. Shella is wise and as a steady light. Her calm can make the wrong feel right. When tempers rise or plans go wild, she cools the room with just a smile. Berry brings the comic gold, her laughter warm, her stories bold. She'll have you laughing in your seat and begging for a repeat. Sadler comes with her games in tow. You know plenty tricks and trivia will flow. You know there will be fun can't done, for there's always a prize to be won. Together we are more than peers. We've shared moments and wiped each other's tears. In unity we always strive. We call ourselves the Fab Five. This next piece is entitled One Name Too Many. And if you are aware, many of you might know my daddy. He's originally from Box Hill, Gingerland. Everybody know him as Judge, but he has many other names that people call him by. Yes. So I came up with this piece in tribute to my daddy. Euclid, that's the name of my daddy. Tall, firm, and oh so lanky. Strong-willed, yet warm with his family. Though I think he has one name too many. He's known by different names to everybody, but to us, his children, he's simply Daddy. His grandchildren greet him with joy and laughter, shouting loudly, "Grandfather, grandfather." He must have been some cricketer in his day because he was compared to famous cricketers when he played. He must have bowled the fastest ball in history, for some dubbed him the great Dennis Lilly. Or maybe it is because his cricket career ended very quickly, and so others call him Bob Massey. Then came another title, a nickname from where he had roamed, the one and only Box Hill Judge, the place he called home. But somewhere along the Box Hill got stopped, and just Judge stuck and never stopped. Maybe it's because he's not easily budged, or simply that he really holds a grudge. Whatever you call him, he'll always respond. Of all his names, he's deeply fond. He'll carry them proudly, here and beyond. But whatever the world may choose to say to me, I know him best, and I call him Daddy. Okay, this is the last piece. This one is entitled, The Old People Say. The old people say, before good food waste, let belly bust. Seize the moment, don't let chances turn to dust. For risk is a bridge between now and the prize. If we wait too long, the opportunity dies. The old people say, dance a yard before you dance abroad. Perfect your steps before you take them to the road. Show what you can when your feet are set. Only then will the world place its bet. The old people say the apple don't fall far from the tree. In our blood, our roots, our history we see. The trade to inherit, the lessons we learn, were all passed down to us, the generation lives on. The old people say the dance can't play for the light. What we gain in joy may cost us the night. We revel and laugh, yet forget the cost. But in the end, the balance we've lost. The old people say empty vessels make the most noise. Loud are the voices with little to employ. Those who know less speak with force, but wisdom lies in silence, of course. The old people say, who can't hear or feel? Listen well, the elders' words are real. For experience speaks in the language of truth. The cost of ignorance is steep from youth to youth. The old people say, how you make your bed, I saw you're going to lay in it. Decisions made will shape every bit. So choose wisely with care and grace, for you will sleep in the bed that you make in this space. The old people say, all skin teeth no laugh. Smiles may hide what's in one's heart. Behind the grin, the mask will fall. What's on the face ain't always true at all. Listen to what the old people say. Each saying is a guide. In life we walk, carry these wise words inside. For the elderly's wisdom is simple yet deep. It will help us rise if in our hearts these advice we always keep. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you can do better than that for feature poet, Miss Tamisha Sadler. Let's give her another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, by now, you should be wrapping up your impromptu poems. Remember, we stated 8 to 10 lines. I'm going to call out the participants, and then I'm going to name the judges. So, we have Devon, Ruth, Ernestine, Shalisa, Mauricia, and Hanela. Our judges, Mark Liebert, Carol Fifield Morton, and Adina Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now starting the impromptu contest. Remember, each judge would judge you on a maximum of 10 points. So if you are that good, you could amass 30 points if you are that good. Remember, the winner of this contest would get a ticket for the Soca Monarch this evening at the Village. Ladies and gentlemen, number one. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium, Ruth. Ladies and gentlemen. And Ruth is one of our sisters from across the Narrows. So can we give her another round of applause as she comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Blessed day. It's good to be here. The heat is on. I'm here wondering what could possibly be wrong, as it seems like the universe suddenly has two suns. When I was a child running around, the temperature seemed cool and calm. We climbed trees, played ball all day long, without taking any notice of the sun. Maybe it was just one. Lately, it's been extremely hot. I'm still trying to figure it out. Excess sweating, thirst, irritable. Is it still one sun, or maybe it's two?
Judges, you have your hands full. Put your hands together once again for Ruth, ladies and gentlemen. And because it's Culturama, after the decision you would say? Okay. Well, since you are so loud and brave, ladies and gentlemen, our next poet is none other than Devon Liebert, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together and welcome to the podium, Mr. Devon Liebert. On the topic, the heat is on.
Okay, so the topic is the heat is on, and this is my piece that I just put together. The heat, the heat, the heat is on. Somehow, I wonder if it's the devil's son. I wake at morn, the break of day, only to hear my donkey bray. Don't come out here, your skin will scorch, like you've been baked with a lampstand torch. But then I hear my grandparents say, to work you must to earn your pay. No matter how hot the sun may be, life must continue to grow the economy. So put on your boots and face the day. Protect your skin in every way. Drink lots of water, hydrate and have fun. For good Lord have mercy, the heat is on.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Devon Liebert. Judges, can we move on? It's getting hot, and only would get hotter, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, our next competitor, ladies and gentlemen, is Miss Mauricia. Mrs. Mauricia Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Can you put your hands together for Mauricia?
Good afternoon again. I wouldn't be going to the show, but if I'm awarded it, I'll pass it on. Okay. The heat is on. Today especially isn't ordinary. If you think I'm overreacting, ask returning national, Peter, Polly, or Larry. I saw them at Sunshine, sipping on their killer bee, and they tell me, one said, girl, I'm in distress and drenched in my sweat. The other said, I am confused, but this drink got me. Larry laughed. Polly, is you or that heat won't kill me? Miss Yankee. We all laugh it up with sweat running down, but made the best of it, even though the heat is on.
Indeed, the heat is on. Can we give it up for Mrs. Williams, please? Once again. Woo! It's hot inside here, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on. At this point in time, I would call to the podium Shalisa. No? She fell through? The heat is on. Oh, the heat is on, and she sweats so much that the paper soak, and she can't understand what she wrote. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome a young lady who have been participating all week long. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Welcome to the podium, Ernestine, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, all. Well, the heat is on. I don't know if I can compete, but I'll try. The heat is on, my Lord. The heat is on. Lord, I feel it so from country to tongue. Not even the rustling in the leaves of the coconut tree. The monkey them bun, I can't even see one. And Master God, this a bun up all, Abby. Them say I'm missing, follow me. Some say a global warming, Trump's worst enemy. But whether or not you agree with me, one thing I know, the heat ya kill all Abby.
The heat is definitely on. As much as it's on for me and you, I am sure it's on more for the judges. Judges? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Our last competitor, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Miss Hanela, ladies and gentlemen, as she comes.
The heat is on. Woke up this morning, sweat dripping down my face. I began to hesitate, even though I didn't want to be late. I rushed up before it was too late. It was time to gyrate. The sun was hot, and so was I. No one could deny that the heat was on, and so was I.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's all up to the judges now. But in the interim, we're going to have one of our subcommittee members. She's not competing, but she took the opportunity to write on the topic, "The Heat is On." Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium Kalia Huggins, ladies and gentlemen, as she do her piece, "The Heat is On." Remember, she's not competing.
Good afternoon again. So my poem is not entitled "The Heat is On," but I took a bit of inspiration from that theme. Nevis Cultural Requiem. We say a prayer for what has been, and I think that's a good thing. We find it sweet and call our culture oh so unique. But when the heat is on, we sing a different song. Culturama time, the greatest summer lime. Yet we contort and adjust and get made up, say farewell to authentic Nevision times. The heat is on, so we stress without rest. And instead of uplifting, we cuss and laugh and shame anyone who doesn't fit the standard of best. We say a prayer for what we've lost. On the brink of extinction is our culture, youthful confidence and carefree joy. Because a who look the best and a who do it the best is our only care this Culturama time. A Nevision Cultural Requiem, say a prayer.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, if she was competing and she won, you would have said what? And why you would have said she cheat? Because she beat all of you while beating the heat, and then she would have come again and she would have to beat. Because, okay? There's going to be a song in our road march, you know. The cheat, the cheat, the cheat. It's only going to be road march because you think that they cheat. Ladies and gentlemen, just before I call the results, ladies and gentlemen, remember, immediately following the results, we have the provision peeling. We ask you to register now on my left, the yellow and white tent under my left, sorry. We can accommodate a maximum of 5 persons, male or female. And of course, the winner would also get a ticket for tonight's competition. So please, you can do that quickly. Now for your results. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you earlier on, the persons to be mad with if indeed you get mad, would be our 3 judges, Mr. Mark Liebert, Mrs. Carol Fifield Morton, and Adina Taylor, Mrs. Adina Taylor. So, here are your results. The winner would have won by 1.5 points. The second placer, they would have tied, and the next person would have lost to those that tied by 1.5 points. And then the other person would have got 2 points less. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call only the winner. Ladies and gentlemen, out of a possible total of 30, amassing 26 points, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your Deaf 4 winner is not from the East, but instead, she amassed a total of 26 points. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together, and the hands should be going together. Yes, and give me a little drum roll, DJ Woodis. Make it royal. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Ernestine. I'm happy for her, you know. You know I'm happy for her? She took part Monday. She took part Tuesday. She took part Wednesday. And she didn't win a thing. And she come back, therefore, and she has won. Welcome, and she's going to come and recite her poem again.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm from the East. Thank you so much. The heat is on, my Lord. The heat is on. Lord, I feel it, sir, from country to tongue. Not even the rustling in the leaves in the coconut tree. The monkey them bun can't even see one. And Master God, this a bun of all I be. Them say I'm missing, I follow me. Some say a global warming, Trump's worst enemy. But whether or not you agree with me, one thing I know, that heat ya kill all I be. Big up Pucci, we all from the East.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, she's also from the East. I'm corrected. Just that she's not deep from the East. We have our participants, Mrs. Rollins. Please go and register. Ground provision peeling. Green banana peeling. Yeah? While I play this.
Cheat, cheat, cheat. That's what I hear after every show. Cheat, cheat, cheat. That's why I hear in the crowd go. Put this song come road march in my dear land. Because everywhere I go, everybody singing the same song.
God damn.
Cheat, cheat, cheat.
The song is basically saying cheat, cheat, cheat. And they cheat because we have treat ourselves. How are you enjoying Poets in the Square, ladies and gentlemen? Are you enjoying C51, ladies and gentlemen? Remember tonight, all roads lead to the village where Deli Ranks would be defending his Groovy Soca Monarch title, and father and son, Russ and Rocco Brown, would be defending their Power Soca Monarch title. It is expected to be a grand time, a show of shows, so please do not be late. Yes. There are gloves, ladies and gentlemen, so you don't have to worry about or if your hands would be stained. And of course, there's running water right here in the square. And we also have soap. So there is, yeah, dear miss, you can register. Dear miss is a good cook. That's my sister. Dear miss, take part. You could win a ticket. And if you ain't gonna win, you could give me the ticket. You hesitate, you hef. Huh? Who are the judges? All of us are the judges. Whoever finished first. Who comes second? Give me a break. Oh, okay. The rules are, well, if you know how to peel banana, you cannot break the inside portion of the green skin. Otherwise, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the rules are as follows. You would have to peel the bananas, the inside portion of the bananas. You cannot break it. So you can't leave that portion in the skin. Like when you're home and you rush off and you break up everything and throw it in and you make a little soup in the weather today, okay? So that's it, basically. How many pieces each person get? 6 bananas, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 competitors. We are seeing 2 males, 3 males. We have to do one of them. Oh, what the joke. Yes. You are expected to present your bananas whole. Whole is spelled H-O-W-H. W-H-O-L-E. Oh my. W-H-O-L-E. What I said? I heard what I said. But you could spell whole H-O-L-E, but that's not the particular whole. Well, I'm human, right? All knives on the table. All knives on the table. Participants, when you are ready, raise your hand, and then I would tell you when to start. One more person. Mr. Rollins, you're rubbing your hands. You can take part. We have gloves, you know. Good afternoon, darling. How are you? Hi, Sandra. Welcome to Poets in the Square. Nice to have you. Bartlett, you're taking part? One more person. Okay. Yeah, man. Sherilyn Deep from the East. Devon Deep from the East. Dear Miss Deep from the East. Poochie Eyeball Deep from the East. Where you from, young man? You're from St. Kitts? Let me just run a quick interview. Good afternoon. Can you tell us your name?
My name is Kevin Boone. I'm from St. Kitts, Sandy Point. Real representative. And I also was a qualified chef, but not now. I'm quite us after that.
St. Kitts in the house. Yeah. SP where the best be. Yes. Good afternoon. Can you tell us your name and where you're from?
Everybody know me, Devon Libert from Gingerland.
Put your hands together for everybody know me, Devon Libert from Gingerland. Good afternoon. Can you tell us your name and where you're from? Sherilyn Hobson, Gingerland. Good afternoon. Can you tell us your name and where you're from?
Dear Miss Fifield, Gingerland.
Dear Miss, not dear Mister. Dear Miss Fifield, Gingerland. What's your name, sir?
Me Eustace Alberto Claxton, right?
Say it one more time and a little slower. No, I want to say it to the camera. Turn around, turn around, turn around. Hold on. Say it slowly.
I am Eustace Alberto Claxton.
Eustace Alberto Claxton from Gingerland. Now the rules are again, an audience, you would help us judge, okay? Because I say so. Now participants, your knives should be on the table. Which container is yours? Touch your container. Touch your container. Touch your container. Touch your container. No help. No. You're making up rules as you go here, you know. Now, you are supposed to peel your bananas and no inside portion of the banana should leave on the skin. That's the green portion, the outer portion of the banana. Now, all knives and hands, knives on table, hands off table. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3, you may start. 1, 2. No, Mr. Claxton. You start after 3. Let's do again. Participants, after 3. 1, 2, 3, go! Whoa, they are looking good. SP looking good. Devon looking good. Shirley looking good. Poochie looking good. DMS looking good. Who it's going to be? 6 bananas. 6 bananas. Who it's going to be? Let's see who are the real cooks here. Oh, they're looking good. But I know who's going to win. I know who's going to win. If you ain't believe me, when the person win, you're going to say, I say so. We're going to need some judges, you know. We are going to need judges and see if a substantial amount was left in the skin. We're going to need some judges and we are going to see if a substantial amount was left in the skin. Sit down, Raja. Sit down, Raja. Who you think you be? Can you get the mic? Sit down, Raja. Devon looking good. SP in the house looking good. Boy, this is going to be good competition. Remember, a substantial amount cannot leave in the green portion. So we're going to have judges. We're going to have, can you kindly explain the camera? Remember Poochie taking part? Oh, come on this side. Yes. Yes. We are looking good. We are looking good. Poets in the square. Banana peeling. When you finish, put up your hand in the ear. And then, when... Okay, we have continue. Don't stop because we're going to look at don't stop. Others do not stop. One person would have said that they have completed. Do not stop. The others do not stop. Please. Please do not stop. Whee! SP would have completed first, but we're going to inspect. Devon finished second, but we're going to inspect. Please allow the media. Okay, I think we can do some inspection now. No, you're going to wait until all finish? Okay. Yeah, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep. Poochie said he finished. So dear Miss and Sherilyn, ready? 3 men beat finished before 2 women. Huh? Puchina done. High science. You're blocking the camera. You're blocking the camera. Hey, dear Miss Lina, but she food sweet. Okay, I think we can inspect. Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Vernice come, Ralph come. Vernice come, Ralph come. Please take out your bananas one by one because the judge is not going to put the hand in. Yeah, we understand. Yeah, come SP. Tell me name again.
Kevin Boone, sir.
Kevin
Boone.
Boone. Boone in the house. SP, where the best be. Come, Ralph. Come take out one at a time. We have napkins. Do we have napkins? Remember the banana will have to stay in the water. They're going to turn black, right? That's how you go? Okay. So the banana is going to come out. Okay, take out one at a time. Mr. Boone. No. Let them take out their own stuff because they're going to say you break it if you break. One at a time. Look at them, judges. You hold it up and you turn it. Yes, you turn it. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. Yeah. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. Do not come with the verdict as yet. Let's go on. Let's go, Mr. Liber. Take out 1. You know what? Wait, for the camera, let's go on the other side. Let's go on the other side for the camera. Let's go on the other side. Yeah, take it out one at a time. Go, Vernice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't make a decision yet. Go on. Go on. Whose own? Vacant. Okay, move on. Move on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next. Next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next. 1. No, that's 1. Judges, you didn't see that. No. Take them out. I hold them in your hand. Pooch is a smart man, you know. 2. 2. No. Take out each one. One at a time. One at a time, Poochie. Okay, put them in the water then. No, one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1 and there make 8. And it was. Judges, take into consideration how they were appealed. Also take into consideration who finished first and let me know who the winner is, please. You could go outside. Go outside. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, day 5 tomorrow, Friday. We'll be back here at noon for Poets in the Square. We're asking all to come and be a part of Poets in the Square. Remember, if you want to be part of Poets in the Square next year, you can contact any member of the subcommittee. Our chair is none other than Michelle D. Liebert Rollins. So please, we're asking you a number of persons who have met me earlier and said Susan, Tom, Dick, and Harry, they can recite and they write poems. So please, want to say last evening I attended a poetry explosion that was put on by Gillian Vaughn. It was awesome. It was really awesome. As soon as you come up with your decision, you would let me know. And then I would interview the eventual winner. Who you think win? You think SPS SP win? Ladies and gentlemen, I have a winner. I have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, can the participants go back to your respective positions, please? Can the participants go back to your respective positions, please? Can the participants go back to their respective positions, please? Thank you very much. Can all participants go back to their respective? I'm missing three. Mr. Claxton, Chief Inspector Claxton. You all know Pucci was a very good footballer, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have met, and their decision, before I call the decision, I would give you the rationale. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the competition was basically two-part. You finish first, but remember we said that it must be properly peeled, meaning that no substantial portion should be left in the skin. Now, Mr. Boone would have completed first, but when they inspected, a substantial portion of one or more of the bananas left in the skin. Now, Mr. Devon Liebert would have completed second. Upon inspection by the judges, they found that there were not much banana in the skin, left in the skin. The other participants finished long after Mr. Liebert. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 banana peeling winner is none other than Mr. Devon Liebert. Congratulations to all of the winners. Yeah, I'm gonna interview you as a competitor, but let me. So I want to speak to the runner-up first. Yeah, but how you found the competition?
Competition is good. I love it. I enjoy it still. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Boone. Mr. Liebert, I'm going to give you a little news now. Mr. Liebert, you taught me when I was in fifth form. Was it maths or accounts?
It was maths.
Maths. Now, I never knew you to be a cook or a banana peeler or provision peeler. But tell us a little about the competition, how you feel winning the competition.
You know me to be a scout, right?
Yes, and the scout motto is be prepared.
Be prepared, yes. And we had many, many scout camps. And, I mean, all of these are things that you had to do, etc., etc. And I was brought up with grandparents who taught me the rudiments of certain things of life. And that is why I was able to, and in my own practice, in my own preparation of meals at home, I mean, I use bananas regularly. So, well.
Okay. You know, hold on, Mr. Boone. You know, as you spoke about Scout, we were in Scout together and we did the cooking to get a cooking badge. Did you get a cooking badge then?
Sure, man. I did.
Okay, so congratulations again. And Mrs. Rollins going to take your number and she's going to hook you up with your ticket. Yes, Mr. Boone, you want to talk to us some more?
I'm giving thanks for the gentleman that win this, Mr. Liebert, that win this competition. You know, and he done well. And for me, as a chef, really, I thought about that, but I didn't understand the competition too very well. Otherwise, I would have beat all of them. None of them would have won me here today. You understand? Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Claxton, turn around and watch the camera. Now you have some big fancy names. Tell us how you enjoy the competition.
Yeah, it was a nice fun thing. This year was a game feel them here. But when we see the part that they done first, right? Me went up there watch. Me went up there watch, you know. Because me don't see each one in there want to feel good.
So that's Poochie Aibal. Yes, want to say good afternoon to each and every one. We thank you, especially those who participated, and we thank you for coming out for Day 4 of Poets in the Square. Please, whatever you do, I want you to enjoy Culturama. Remember, Culturama could only be what you make it as an individual and what we make it collectively. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Roger Fifield. Whatever you do, may God bless you and may God bless us all. Have a good afternoon.